I do believe when we speak of balancing authenticity in business storytelling, what comes to mind often for me is brand tone.
For me, being authentic, it's about what do you do when no one's looking for your clients, to help your business, to improve your services, to improve your delivery. When you're being authentic, you haven't got to tell them. Show them. Make them feel it. That's the way forward.
Storytelling is amazing, but you need to also be aware of your brand tone. What it is how you are speaking to the audience, because storytelling is beyond just the words, it's beyond just the stories. It's also about how you tell it.
Coming with your personal stories, your emotional stories. A lot of people think that's what authenticity means. Don't confuse authenticity is storytelling about your business with that sort of story.
All right, Tanya, the mic is yours. Please share with us. The conversation is how to balance authenticity in business storytelling. We'd love to hear your take.
Okay, great question. I do believe we should be talking about it. And also for me, when we speak of balancing authenticity in business storytelling, what comes to mind often for me is brand tone. And often for many businesses, we all talk about storytelling. And I was even listening to a podcast this morning where it was being advised to consulting firms that, hey, you should really leverage storytelling for your business. But there's also something that comes to mind when I think about this. It's about brand tone, because storytelling is amazing, but you need to also be aware of your brand tone. What it is how you are speaking to the audience, because storytelling is beyond just the words, it's beyond just the stories. It's also about how you tell it. What is the tone you have towards the market? Where are you positioning yourself in the market is how you will speak to the market. So when you tell your stories, is it telling up to your own brand tone? So if, let's say, for example, you had to look at me, my own personal brand, I'm very brash, I'm very cut to the chase. I keep it straight. So anybody that reads anything from me will know that this has got Tanya's touch. So Izu is very much the orator. You see him as the public speaker, the person, and the way he tells his stories is very much aligned to somebody in the speaking stages, and also being an orator and being in the journalism background. And Obey is very much the sage. His brand is very much about being a sage and sharing information. So it's really very important that you are aware of the brand tone that you want to come across as, because you might tell stories, but it also has to align to how the market sees you. So if the market sees you as a very sophisticated brand, and the way you're telling your stories, the way you are speaking to the market is very unaligned, there will be a disconnect there. So I just wanted to bring that to attention.
Thank you so much for that, Tanya. So yeah, at least for the first time I hear somebody analyzing me, and I love that. That is really very important. In fact, one of the things that we are actually thinking of going to implement very soon now in AClasses Media is that we're going to set up a lot of survey. We want to see how people are actually thinking about most of the services that we are offering, and I think that is going to be important. So thank you for that. All right, I've got a question for Ellie, because Ellie, I think you really talked a lot just now. We want you to talk more now, and I'm sort of wondering, what would you say about ways to balance up authenticity in business storytelling? We want to get some tips from you. Please share with us.
Great question, Obihila. Give me a second to answer that, right? So, welcome to everyone. My friends, we appreciate you spending your time with us. Look, now, Obihi, to answer your question, I think Hannah and Chris, Hannah and Tanya have made very good points, which I think is lessons for us to take away in this conversation. Look, here's a problem I see every day, and it makes me confused, bemused, right? When I see people on here, and again, you said it very well earlier. Why talk about the quarrel with your wife last night? Who cares? A lot of people think that's what authenticity means. They think it means coming with your personal stories, your emotional stories, which invariably involves what I call trauma. As I saw people recently, the topic was, let's talk about our childhood traumas. I'm like, childhood traumas? I'm nearly 50. If I haven't got over my childhood traumas by now, I'm never going to get over it, right? Let's leave my childhood traumas where they should be, in my childhood. Thank you. Well, here's the point. Of course, in a room like that, you're welcome to go and share the day your mum and dad upset you when you were 3. That's fine. They'll understand. But don't confuse authenticity is storytelling about your business with that sort of story. Frankly, your customer does not care what happened to you in your childhood. It's been said many times today, thankfully, all your customers care about is, how can you help them? How can you help them solve their problem? And that's where we must focus our authenticity, really. I'm talking about this in my room to Africa Business Talks tomorrow. That's an order of my run, right? Like, what does authenticity mean for African businesses? Again, I think people just they mistake what it really means. See, for me, being authentic, someone mentioned it earlier, it's about what do you do when no one's looking for your clients, to help your business, to improve your services, to improve your delivery. And what that comes, what do we do when no one's looking over here? I'll tell you what we do. We are creating solutions for our clients. We are fixing problems. We are learning, improving our craft, improving our skills. We're inspiring others, and we're being inspired by others. That's what we want to be sharing when it comes to being authentic, because that's who we really are. We want to show people, one, that we understand our clients and what their problems are, and then we speak with truth about how we help them to solve their problem. No one wants to know that my cat died 2 years ago. No one wants to know that my dinner burnt last night. It might make you laugh, but no, that's not going to help me in business, right? Certainly you don't want to know when I argue with my wife or my kids or anything else, right? I said, let's learn not to bring emotions that are not going to help us into the conversation. The emotion your client wants to hear is the emotion of, as Hannah said, you overcoming, you creating, you pushing ahead, for your customers. Talk about things in your business that truly are going to engage your clients. You don't need to, use the whole death and sympathy conversation. It doesn't help your clients. It may make them feel sorry for you. Some people might benefit from that. I'll be honest with you, right? But most people are just not gonna care. They won't respond. They'll probably go away thinking, "How can you really help me when you're so broken?" So maybe you can turn that story into a story of overcoming. There's a way to be authentic, my friends. It's very rare in business, and in the UK we'll say something called warts and all. That's showing everyone, everything. You don't need to show everyone everything. That's again, it was mentioned earlier. It's about being intentional. I think Tanya said, "No, we're very intentional in what we do share." That's what this is all about, really. You figure out how you live your brand, how you live your business every day. Share those are authentic stories because they're true. Share those. That's what we all do. And well, Hannah just showed you her commitment to this room. Those who came in later, you might have missed it. But Hannah was walking home, and rather than wait to get her home before she starts to join the conversation, she joined, and we all heard that why she doesn't do her audio events on the fly. But also, we know that she's committed to being here with us and sharing her message with you. That's authenticity for you. That wasn't Hannah running and then coming to tell us days later, "Oh, I was late for something, and I meant to join, but I didn't join." No, so there was no story. She lived it in front of us. We know Hannah's commitment now, right? Make that your way of showing people your authentic stories. Now, my point is this: when you've been authentic, you must allow. You haven't got to tell them. Show them. Make them feel it. That's the way forward, I believe.
Thank you so much for that, Denny.